So welcome to today's update video. It shouldn't be too long, but you can now see tropical depression 2E that was declared last night has now become a tropical storm Agatha. And then we also have invest 94E, which has an 80% chance of development in 2 days and a 90% chance of development in 5 days, and will likely become a tropical depression probably tomorrow. It's not classifiable yet. I'll get to that later. If you look at Agatha, you can see it was obviously designated last night. It's continuing to maintain its organization, maybe even become a little bit better. You can see some curve banning features evident. You can see fueled by the poleward outflow to its north. Poleward outflow is providing a very nice symmetrical structure. Even in the center has become the middle low level centers appear to have become more aligned finally. And this good radial structure cycle to continue until it starts moving to the stratocumulus cloud layer and thus start encountering, which is when you often see very cold waters but like warm air. So I usually like the high cirrus clouds. Warm air, and a combination of warm air and even cool waters generally is not good for tropical cycles. You notice to be fair, sometimes the northern edge. And eventually the remnants of the system likely curve out to sea, and it may eventually give some mid-level moisture to the western United States. So here's a look at black to black. There's not too much deep convection here, and this convection range likely to decrease significantly in about 12 to 24 hours as the system moves over cool waters and shear picks up. The ANC currently has a system at 35 knots. I think that appears reasonable given the current time situation. Given next, if any with greatest SAB numbers at T number 2.5, TAFB is at T2.0, and ADT is at T3.0. A blend of all these supports, well, T2.5, which is equal to 35 knots. Now you can see, now this is Invest 94E. It's still kind of struggling a little bit with structure. There's some very well-defined, large, broad but well-defined center. It appears, it may be a little bit longer. You can see there's not really enough convection over the northern semicircle, and it's time to justify an upgrade. However, any real increase in convection over the northern semicircle, and the system will probably be classified as a tropical depression. Anyhow, let's take a look at the model runs a bit. You can see the GFS develops 94E pretty quickly behind Agatha, and actually what turns out to be, it's going to become gloss, and then the GFS seems to agree on a full-blown, the system will be a full-blown hurricane, which eventually recurves out to sea. And eventually, sometimes, this is the day 10 run, this is Cecilia here. And some of the runs you can see here is another system, or start another system. Some of the runs have been off and on. What happens is you have a new vigorous tropical wave right now in the Western Antilles that's kind of forecast to move over. And it's a little bit uncertain. There's a small chance this one can form it going to Bay of Campeche. And the GFS hinted this, but given the fact the pattern for the winter, not the winter, but the summer has been this major ridge over the Gulf of Mexico, I think it's unlikely. I do think eventually that wave currently in the Western Antilles, I won't show you a picture, but will eventually emerge and eventually develop into a fourth tropical cyclone. I mean, it's worth pointing. So this is Cecilia here. So this is 94E. You're curving out to sea. You can see this is Cecilia. That the NHU is given a 20% chance in the next 5 days and a 0% chance in the next 2 days. And then here is Darby. The storm uncertainty on when it gets going. I'll show you the European run. And then, by day 16, they're showing multiple phantom tropical cyclones. I kind of doubt it. These will happen since I'm fairly certain the very cool wave MGO burst that's sparking this current burst of activity will be out of the basin by then into the Atlantic. And at that point we'll have to watch the Atlantic, and then eventually the West Pacific, and then eventually the Central and Eastern Pacific again. That's the way the MGO cycles work. So look at the European one. For a bit. So you can see here's Agatha and this Wasp gang going. And then it makes this blast barely start hurricane and develops into Cecilia, into even a stronger hurricane. And then by day 10 started to show this tropical cyclone Darby developing much earlier than the 12Z GFS run, and more in line with some of the earlier GFS runs, and showing a tropical cyclone near Squall Island. And I believe it's from, it appears to be from the same tropical, I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure, but it appears to be, if this is the tropical wave, or it's that I was talking about. But regardless, the Europeans in pretty good agreement on Darby within the 10-day time period, a little bit farther from the coast, while the GFS has been more inconsistent. So I'd say it's the biggest difference when it comes to the long range. But regardless, that's still about 7 days away. In the meantime, we have Agatha, which probably won't be much. Blast, which and Cecilia, which are likely to be relatively robust hurricanes. Well, obviously, Blast from Invest 94E. Those specifics on that are a little bit too uncertain, even though we'll probably have a much clearer picture on exactly how strong Invest 95E will be tomorrow. Anyhow, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!